welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope everybody is having a lovely day. As you saw in today's video, we are going to be going over 5 tips for character design from a complete and utter novice. Hopefully they help. They're pretty generic, but I thought I'd go over some things that I think of when I am designing my characters, especially my D&D characters, and how they look. But before we get into today's video, as always, we're going to go over the comment of the week. This comment is from I'm Cat B YT, and I hope they're not upset that I'm picking this one, but I wanted to because I thought it was important to mention. So they said, off subject, my apologies that I hardly comment. I love your content, don't get me wrong, but most of the time I just silently appreciate. Happy cry face. I wanted to mention this comment because I want people to know that just because you don't take the time to comment, like, there's so many reasons that you don't. Maybe social anxiety, maybe you're just too busy, maybe you just don't want to, and I want you guys to know that I love you guys despite that. That does not affect how much I appreciate you guys, so please keep that in mind. There's so many factors out there in the world that if you're not somebody who's super active, I still truly appreciate you. So I wanted to mention that in today's video. Thank you, I'm Cat B, for taking the time to comment. She also did, they also did say a comment just saying like wow or something like that, which I also appreciate, but I wanted to make note of this one because it was important to me. So other than that, let's get into today's video. 5 tips on character design from an absolute and utter novice. While I talk to you about these 5 tips, I will be sharing the higher quality version of my process video of my character design for Alyce. If you don't know anything about Alyce, I did make a video of her portrait discussing her backstory if you wanted to check that out. Alyce is really important to me, and she is having a rough time now in her current campaign, so I really love her and I want her to get out of her shell, but I thought I'd share the full design of 3 different outfits, just like a nightie, her summertime outfit because she's originally from Daggerford, and it's a lot warmer where she is from, and now she's currently up north and she absolutely hates it. She's currently in the process of looking for some ear tents, aka little triangles to put over her ears. But she has earmuffs in the picture, so I don't know what she's doing. She wants more. I don't know. But anyways, let's get into the 5 tips. So my very first tip when you are character designing is to consider their personality when creating them. So with Alyce, she is a goofball. She's a nut. She likes to joke around. She's having a hard time with that right now, but when she was back home with her sister and her mom, she really liked to pull pranks and do all these things. So I thought she would have a fun outfit, something a bit more confident, something that, you know, someone without confidence wouldn't really wear. So I put her in like pants and a shirt, which wasn't something I was expecting to draw, and yet I did. It just kind of came that way. She just seemed like someone who would wear whatever she wants and wouldn't care about anybody else. So that is an important tip. There's a lot of other things that you can consider. If they're shy, you know, maybe they will wear a hood or wear a scarf, something that they can kind of duck their face into, all that kind of things. So always consider their personality as you create them. My second tip is consider their color palette and the mood of your drawing. For Alyce, again, she is a very positive person. She doesn't really dwell on revenge. She's just very sunshiny, I guess you could say. So, and because she's from a warmer climate, she's a tiefling with orange skin and green hair, which, yes, I realize ended up being a little bit like an Oompa Loompa, but I still love her. And I think that her color palette is pretty earthy. She did live in a smaller little town or city, so it kind of fit with her obscure color scheme. It was kind of odd to add too many different colors to her outfit, but I think it worked out. So yeah, always consider the color palette. There's some really cool websites out there where you can find color palettes. I think one's called Coolers. I've tried it a couple times looking for marketing color schemes, so if you want to check it out, I will link that down below the video. My third tip is layers, and I don't mean digital art layers, I mean clothing layers. I find that if you make the outfit more interesting, more stuff going on, belts, bags, cardigans, sweaters, like just kind of making it a bit more detailed. You don't have to go too crazy, but just adding a bit more layers, especially because you can add the personality more when you add more clothes, if that makes sense. Like if you just put them in a t-shirt and jeans, it's kind of boring. So consider layers. You know, if you look at like a lot of anime character designs, they have, you know, the base bottom outfit, but then they have straps and belts and what else do they have? Arm pieces and like tons of other things. And I find that it makes the overall character design so much more interesting. Or if you look at skirts, for example, usually there is frill and tulle and all that other stuff underneath the skirt, just to keep it more interesting. Like it's not just a skirt. So something else to consider when you are character designing. My fourth tip is the silhouette. I mean, this is in general with all art, and I've said this in other videos, but when you are creating your character, try testing out to see what the silhouette looks like. If you have it interesting, like the overall drawing itself will be more interesting to the eye. That doesn't mean that the character design will be interesting, but keeping a nice silhouette is always beneficial when you're creating almost anything, so it's another thing to consider. My last tip today is consider their quirks. Now, this might not necessarily have to do with the character design appearance, but it could, because Alyce, her quirk is that she absolutely loves bread. She is the sweetest little bean and will share or help anyone that asks, or share with anyone that asks. But if it comes to her bread, she will not share. She literally walks around with a loaf of bread all the time. So in theory, I could have added literally like a bread bag that, you know, she like wears, or like something that would be beneficial to her in that, with that quirk. With my other character, Amryn, who you can also find her backstory, she is a bit scandalous, so that did have to do with the outfit. So her thighs are quite showy, her tatas are quite showy, so, you know, it's something to consider that goes with the personality as well. I know that there's quite a few of the, what's it called? The Hero Academia anime. I haven't watched it in a really long time, but they all have quirks, and look at how it affects their character design, especially when they pick their outfits, if you know what I'm talking about. So that to me is a really, really good tip. Not just their personality, but their quirks. So keep that in mind. Other than that, I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this YouTube video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!